I don't do a lot of business with Japanese companies, so I can't necessarily generalize to that, but I suspect this would be true as well. When you look at doing business in India, a JV is not the first thing you should look at. Unlike China, where the government almost necessitates, in many cases, going for a JV until recently, in India, most sectors are open for wholly owned subsidiaries or other forms of business in India. And that's the first possibility that I recommend that you look at. Now, certain sectors in India are not open to that. Defense, for example. Typically, you can have only 23% ownership if you're a foreign company. Media is another where there are limitations. And India is not unique. The United States limits foreign investment in certain sectors. So Rupert Murdoch had to become a US citizen before they could trade News Corp on the New York Stock Exchange. So my first recommendation to clients is to see if a JV is really necessary. Then if it turns out that for whatever reason you do want to have a JV, then you've got to look at aligning the short-term and long-term interests of both parties. And that's much harder to do than it is to say. Typically, at least for American companies, I find their short-term interest is to minimize risk, get in there, have a minority or majority interest in the JV, so that they can later decide to buy the rest of the company. Well, the Indian entrepreneurs are too smart for that, to be able to give away value. So the price they want to extract upfront is typically much too high for most American companies to pay. Okay? So it's hard to find an equation in that. Okay? So you have to understand the values of the company, you have to understand the long-term objectives. There are many, many successful JVs, but you have to cross those hurdles. There are many others that have failed. Probably the most successful example of a JV, and this is a large company example, but those are the easiest ones to find publicly, is between Tata and Cummins. It's a 50-50 JV. It is the hardest kind to succeed, but they've set it up in a manner where they have equitable sharing of expertise as well as management, and it has worked out very well. I hope that answers it.
Any other questions?